We are live, Janine.
All right.
Well, welcome to Egg Harbor Library. Our building might be closed today, but we're still working. And we have a great program this afternoon with Kenny Briggs he has a metal detecting shop in Chippewa Falls, and I'm going to let him later on tell you all about it. And we will have time for questions. So if you have questions, make sure you ask. Not only are we here with Kenny Briggs, we're also here with Jess. She's our building manager. And we'll be here this afternoon sharing everything that Kenny knows about metal detecting. So we're going to first of all begin with a video, and maybe you've seen this show. It's my absolute favorite TV show. And I'm going to show you a clip. This series is on Hoopla, which is available on our Door County library site. Are you seeing the clip?
Yep.
I'm going to start it. Okay.
So this kind of inspired you to reach out to Kenny.
Yes. Are you hearing?
Yep.
All right.
Anything? Fuck all. Tell you about the beautiful old battle axe I once found. Yeah, you married her. I've done that one for you before.
Sorry to interrupt, but are you metal detectors?
This is a metal detector. We are metal detectorists.
You're going to discover the Valley of the King.
What you got? Matchbox car. I mean, who's been playing with cars up here?
Pretty sad.
So the humble, boring button is a very real piece of social history.
We all know there's a Saxon ship burial somewhere in this part of the county.
It's basically the holy grail of treasure hunting.
Well, no, the Holy Grail is the Holy Grail of treasure hunting.
Hello.
Welcome to the mass ranks of the Daybury Metal Detecting Club.
I understood there was going to be a talk about buttons.
I'll very happily do a recap.
No.
Please, no. Yes, we were wondering if you'd give us your permission to detect on your land.
Fascinating.
This is a song about how you don't appreciate the good things in your life until they bunk off with the manager of the local pizza hut.
Looks like Simon and Garfunkel.
Do you have permission to? I'm telling you. Immature. Are you?
I felt the touch.
My police boots are making mums nervous.
Well, you a vegetarian. Well,
You are always staring at the ground. I bet you'd be amazed at the things you've missed.
it's those wankers trying to muscle in on our patch. You haven't met Tony, have you? Maggie's new bloke.
I think so.
Massive knob, has he? No.
Oh, yes, the metal detectors.
Detectorists.
All right. Well, I'm going to share one more screen.
Janine, I did want to add that if folks have questions and they're on the Zoom, they can go ahead and type them in the chat, or if they want to, they can, unmute themselves and ask. Otherwise, if you're watching on Facebook and you just pop it into the comments under the video, we can get those to Kenny, and he's offered to take them as we go. This will be recorded too, so it'll be on the Door County Library's YouTube channel afterwards, and then also on the Crest Pavilion YouTube channel. So,
Right. So today we're getting close to nature as detectorists, and we're going to be talking with Kenny Briggs, who's a professional metal detector. He has just written a book called Treasure Hunting, Street and Sidewalk Tear-Outs by Kenny Briggs, and he's writing a second book too. So I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to let Kenny talk about treasure hunting and metal detecting, and then we have some questions for him after he's done, and maybe he would have answered him. I've written my questions out, but we'll have Kenny take over, so I'm going to stop my share. Oops. It's not letting me stop my share there. All right. Okay, and now we're going to let Kenny take over. Kenny, are you there?
I'm here. Thanks for having me. Appreciate this. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. All right. A little bit about myself. I've been metal detecting for 52 years. I started when I was 12 years old. I bought my first metal detector when I had my paper out, and I've been going ever since. And I've got, as you can see behind me, I've got lots of metal detectors.
Wow.
I've got a total of 17 metal detectors that I've compiled over the years. So each one of them does something different. One's a water machine that goes down 100 feet. One goes in the water 10 feet. However, there's no water detecting in the state of Wisconsin. It's against the law. The DNR put a stop to metal detecting on any state lands, parks, or waterways in the state of Wisconsin on November of 2009. But getting back to when I started, I used this as a stress reliever for my jobs when I got a little older. I'm a retired deputy sheriff out of Chippewa County. I put in a 36-year, 7-month career in law enforcement and 18 years in an ambulance. So I used it when I had a bad day. I'd go and grab my metal detector and put my headphones on and forget about life for a while and just unwind and get rid of the stress. So, and then I took over. A friend of mine had approached me, asked me if I would be a salesperson for him to sell metal detectors. He was from Spencer, Wisconsin, and Kevin Clark is his name. And I was a salesman and sold detectors for him for a number of years. And then he got to where he had to sell his business because he had kids that were in high school and he wanted to do things with them. And so I took over Groundview metal detector sales and rental from Kevin in Spencer, Wisconsin, and moved it to Chippewa Falls. And I've been going ever since. I was an authorized White's dealer until they went and closed their doors in June of this year. I'm a Garrett's dealer. I'm a Fisher dealer, Wilcox All Pro Tool dealer for hand diggers and things like that. And I've got, I try and keep a large amount of stock here in the store for people to come in and look at. And I also offer a metal detecting program, a training day here at my shop. And it costs $50 for each person. And it's all day long. And we supply the dinner. And we also have giveaway prizes. And they're nice prizes. They're diggers and hats and lots of things for metal detecting. So, and that's where I'm at today. I've built the business up, and I like to get out and metal detect. I can't get out as much as I'd like to because I'm so busy. I also own Chippewa Valley Lock and Key here in the same place. I'm also a certified registered locksmith. After my law enforcement career, I went into the locksmith trade. And that's where we're at today. And I'm going to go over some tools that you need if you're going to start into this. You just can't pick up a machine and say, I'm going to go start digging. Well, that becomes a problem because a lot of people pick up a great big shovel and start digging holes and have no clue what they're doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the tools that are needed to start out with for metal detecting. And one thing I want to stress also is go to an authorized dealer. Yep, I've got lung problems too. I know what you're going through. I've got a shovel. That's one of the things that I use here. It's specifically for metal detecting. It's not a great big.
Kenny, I'm
What's
gonna
that?
just interrupt you for a minute. So someone had asked for some suggestions if they've got COPD and it's hard to dig. So you're gonna go through the shovels. I just want to make sure the Facebook audience knows that too.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. This is one of the things that I carry along and helps me get up off the ground because I have lung problems and I also have leukemia. I found out I had leukemia 2 years ago. So I'm fighting that right now. But another digger that we carry, this is a hand digger. This is the type of diggers that we use in people's lawns if we go and ask permission to hunt their property. This is the proper one to use. You do not use something like this on their yard. You use a small hand digger. And also, I have a gasket removing tool. It's a little flathead tool. I bought it Farm and Fleet for $3, I think it is. Then you can dig out the coin or whatever. I also have a coin probe. This is a little brass probe that after you locate your target with your metal detector, you can go down and locate and see how far in the ground it is. If it's within a couple of inches in the ground, I can generally pop a coin out with this tool without digging any hole. You see a lot of people digging these great big holes and stuff where the coin's only a couple inches down or just under the surface. You don't need to. There's no sense of digging up a large hole when you don't have to. And I use this. I also use a toothbrush that I use for cleaning off artifacts that I find. So I can take a look at them, or coins and things like that. A fines box that I put my different fines in. Leather gloves. I cannot stress this enough. If you're going to do this hobby, please use leather gloves. Because when you're reaching in the hole and you got a piece of broken glass or a rusted piece of metal and you rip your finger open, guess where you're going? To the hospital to get a tetanus shot and get it all stitched up. So I strongly recommend a good set of leather gloves. I usually go through a set of leather gloves every year. Pinpointer. When I locate my target with my machine, then I use this pinpointer to see if I can find it on the grass. And then I use the coin probe. So they all work hand in hand. So if it's only down like 4 or 5 inches, then I will take this digging tool. If it's deeper than that, then I'll use the shovel, unless I'm in somebody's private lawn, then I will not use a shovel. Knee pads, good set of knee pads. A towel. When you open up your hole, you make a horseshoe plug, a U-shaped plug, and flip the plug over, and then you locate your target with your pinpointer. And if you have to go deeper and take out more dirt, that's what this towel does. You take the dirt out, put it on the towel, not on the grass, put it on the towel, because when you're done with it, you take the towel and empty it back in the hole so there's no dirt lost. And the other thing you need is a metal detector. This is the Fisher F75 Special Edition. I sell these here at the shop, and I also have the new, I'm going to find it here. The new Garrett's Apex multi-frequency machine. These two are the machines that I take out now. I used to take out 4 or 5 machines. I'd put them in my truck and they'd stay there all summer long. Now I just have to take out 2. And the Apex is water resistant. So if I get caught in the rain, I don't have to worry about it. It's not going to get wrecked. So that's about what the tools that you need. Like I said, I recommend going to a dealer, a local dealer, and getting the proper tools. Let them show you what they have and let them fit you for the machine. You don't have to buy the most expensive machine on the market. You can, mediocre. This Fisher is $649.95. This Garrett's is $492.95. And I also have 4 machines hanging here that are, one's an $1,800 unit and the other ones are $1,100. And I've got a $800 unit. I've got a $900 unit. I've got quite a bit of money tied up in the metal detectors. And each of them are different. Like there's different things for water machines, for pulse induction. I got a mosquito in here. Pulse induction machines. Pulse induction machines have a certain coil where it throws pulses of electrodes or electronic signals down, and the signal does not return until it hits something. So if it hits like a ring or something, that signal will stop pulsing and it will come back and to the coil of that machine. That's what pulse induction is. So pretty much all your machines now are VLF, very low frequency machines. And that's the old BFO machines was back in the 50s and 60s. Those no longer are used unless you're 90 years old and still running them. But other than that, that's what you need to get started. Contact your local dealer. And then after I decided I wanted to teach somebody what I know. And that's why I decided to write this book that you've got. And it's Treasure Hunting Street and Sidewalks. And that's where I found a lot of stuff. Relics, coins. I have displays. You'll see in the book that there's a lot of different colored pictures. The whole thing is colored. There's things that I found, toy cars. My wife has got several rings that are lots of money. So I give her the rings. We had a standing joke. She said, go out and find the ring. Well, I found a ring. Now she says, go out and find the earrings to match. So we have a good deal with that. But I wrote the book to teach other people what I've learned over the years. The book has got the different hunting street and sidewalks is something that you can't be there when the construction people are there. You need to be there after they're done working for the day. There's color codes in there for all the flags in a construction zone. The little diggers hotline comes along and puts them up. See, in the state of Wisconsin, you cannot legally dig anywhere, including your own yard, unless you've contacted diggers hotline. And they can mark off your property where the wires are, where the pipes are, water pipes, and things like that. Then you can legally dig. Otherwise, you can get in trouble if you hit something when you're digging and you didn't get permission or call diggers hotline and the flags aren't up. you can get charged with it under 182.017 or 07175 of the Wisconsin state statute. And that statute is in that book. And Digger's Hotline is in all 50 states. Each state has their own Digger's Hotline that you can call and get contact with them and find out where the wires and things are. And they'll come out and mark them free of charge. So that's one thing that is in the book. There's a lot of other things in the book. I've also got my YouTube videos. I've got over 200 YouTube videos. One of them, in fact, is how to dig out a coin with this coin probe. But it shows different things that I've dug over the years at street constructions. And it was an interesting book. I enjoyed writing it.
You said you were writing another book. What's your
Yes.
new book about?
My new one is going to be a journal to follow up on this book, to where it's going to be able to, you can put your machine, what you used, the latitude and longitude where you found the item, what the item is. There'll be a location there for a thumbnail picture of what you found, description, the coins, all United States coins from back in the 1600s all the way to present is in there. And all the rings, the 10 karat, 12, 14, 18, 24 karat, those are all in there. Silver, gold, white gold, things like that. You just circle them and write in the description and where you found it, the date you found it, and there's a lot of information that's going into the book that the journal.
Good. Well, should we go with our questions or you have more to say?
I think I pretty much
Okay.
covered.
I'm going to share my screen and let's see. Okay. And okay, so this first screen has your YouTube information on it. With all of your YouTube videos.
Yep.
And then the next one is your podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about the podcasts that you do?
What I do, I try and get a hold of people that are interested in the hobby or has been into it for a while. And I get a hold of them and ask them if they'd like to be interviewed like we are today. And some people will frown on it. They don't want to be, nah, I don't think so. And then some of them will. And I've interviewed quite a few people and we've gotten into what they do. Do they belong to any clubs? Do they have anybody that goes with them? Do they have family members that are interested with their metal detecting? And we dig into the history of them and see what they're doing to give people an idea of what's really out there.
And the third internet address there that's listed is your website at
Correct.
Groundview Metal Detectors. And that website has lots of information on it. Tell us what you have on that website.
That's got pictures of past hunts, and it's got a forum in it, and it's got so many things in there. It's also got a location in there that if you're interested in my book, you can order the, contact me by that and get a book ordered. And let's see what else is there. There's a classified section if someone wants to sell something. I built my website myself. In fact, that's one of the many websites that I've built.
Okay, and then I have some little pictures on there. Now we pretty much know what detect and pinpoint is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have two pictures of a child and an adult, and
The,
showing the different strengths of metal detectors. So
right.
the ones that you told us about, would they be able to be like the picture on the left of the man and the treasure, or is it more like the girl, the young girl?
More like the young girl in the picture.
Okay.
However, there is the one on the left. Let me grab that one. That's a cache locating machine. And that will go down 10 to 12 feet, in which a regular metal detector will, depends on the size of the coil. There's different size coils for different size machines and different type machines. A lot of people, when they're out field hunting, they go with the largest coil that will work with their machine. Myself, when I'm hunting parks and street tear-ups and sidewalk tear-ups, I use the smallest coil possible because it gets in between all the other junk that's out there. The bigger coils will pull in a lot more junk and be a lot more noisy than other coils. But there's different coils for different things.
Okay, so this will help explain different metal detectors for different things. So
Mhm.
was the Fast Tracker one of the ones that you're selling? Or
No,
is it? No.
that's the Bounty Hunter. I don't have that yet.
Okay.
I have the one up on top of that. That's the Fisher.
All right.
The one on the left, that's Tesoro. That company is no longer in business also.
All right. But they all have, it looks like they have the coil.
Yep.
And then they have the control housing, which is interesting because there's two things I think you really need to know about is the sensitivity and the discriminant.
Right.
And
First thing on the coils, though, I'd like to stress on that one on the left,
yeah.
you see the large outside coil,
Uh-huh.
and then you see the inside round coil,
Yeah.
little. Okay, the outside is a transmit for the electronics pulses. The smaller coil is the receive. So it goes down, it transmits and then receives back. And then it goes through the coil, comes up through and hits the control housing. The one on the right, that's the same thing. However, the outside coil is a transmit. The inside up and down, the pie shaped, that's the receive on that particular unit.
And then the one on the right, it's digitized. It looks like it has some numbers on it. What are those numbers?
Correct. Like the 82, that shows you the different numbers that coins come in as, or different relics come in as. Certain things come in at a high number and a high tone, like silver, and like pop cans and iron objects will come in at a lower grunt tone. So you know pretty much what you're going to dig if it is.
What's the
And
big
then
number? 835. What does that stand for?
that I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah.
That might be the ground mineralization. See, on Fisher, they've got a ground mineralization on it tells the mineralization and what the ground is inside, or what you're hunting in.
Okay.
There's different like sandy beaches. There's the difference between the sandy beaches and black dirt, or
Or dirt,
vice versa.
county dirt, which is
Yeah.
rocks.
Yeah. But that's the one thing it shows, the mineralization and stuff, what's going on with the ground in it. Some machines don't have that option. Fisher has that option.
Yeah, because I see the bounty hunter just, you just have to be good at listening because it looks like it has a headphone, a place for your headphone, and you have to know what the sounds mean.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that comes with training. You're not going to take and go down and buy a metal detector and go out there and think you're going to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It takes time and a lot of training and a lot of patience. This is a hobby that you're going to have a lot of patience, or you might as well not even get into it.
Yeah. From just watching that show, they spent a lot of time finding nothing. But
Yeah.
but close to nature. That's what this is all about. You're outside and
It's nice to be outside. My hunting partners, I've got two of them, Mike Schoonover from Cornell and Marty Fankhauser from Chippewa. I hunt with them guys all the time. And hang on a second, I gotta. I hunt with them all the time, and where was I going with that?
Were you gonna say you do some multitasking? You hunt and then you also metal detect at the same time?
Yeah, we try and have contests between the three of us. See
Mhm.
who can find the best. But it's good fun to be outside with your friends, especially now with this COVID thing. You can be outside and away from anybody, and you're by yourself, and you're more than 6 feet away, which is nice.
so
But how do you handle, like, if you want to go search a property? Do you just go up and knock on their door and identify yourself and see if you can
Yep.
search the property?
Yep, you just knock on the door. You don't want to be in full gear when you go up and knock on people's doors and carrying shovels with you.
Right.
That's the first thing that's going to turn them off.
Right.
Have to excuse my phone's going nuts here. Just go up and knock on the door and be courteous to people. It's their property. And ask them if they mind if you metal detected their property. And some will say, no, we don't care for that. And then again, some of them, sure, have at it. And they want to see what you found, and we'll show people the different finds, what we did find. And they get a kick out of that. A lot of people will get interested in the hobby, or they know somebody that's interested in the hobby, including their kids. And it opens up a lot of avenues for other properties to hunt.
Cool.
So, could you explain discrimination again? What that term
Discrimination is
Yeah.
it's like certain targets you don't want to pick up and certain targets you do want to pick up. You can discriminate out the middle picture that you have there of the Garrett's Ace. What is that, 300 or 400? See the little bars that go straight across the top there?
Yeah.
You can notch them out. You can discriminate them out if you don't want to pick up that certain number. If you only want to pick up like coins, you can set it up to where it will pick up coins only. It will pick up the other stuff. It will show a number. However, it will not beep.
All right. And then, let's see. I think you've talked about most of the other words. Frequency you've touched on.
Yep.
Ground balance, did you?
Yeah, ground balancing is balance your coil in your machine to the soil that you're hunting. because some soils are more, the different minerals are like phosphate and different things that will affect your hunting.
So,
Chemicals in the yard, in the ground and stuff.
so here in Door County, do we have to be aware that we have very rocky soil, that we need to have a certain metal detector because of that?
No, not really. Any one of the metal detectors will work in your soil over there. You just have to know how to run your sensitivity. Like if you take and run sensitivity, low sensitivity, you're going to go deeper, but you're going to pick up a lot more interference with things. If you put in more sensitivity, there's certain things that will not pick up, and it will, how should I say it? The more sensitivity that you put into it, the less deep it will go, the depth.
Oh,
And it fluctuates on your depth is what the sensitivity is.
all right. And then I know Jess just asked about permission.
Yep.
And then on your website, you have a code of ethics. And I noticed on every metal detector site, they have a code of ethics. And which is, and you've touched on it. I think everything in your code of ethics here you talked about already.
We have a lot of people that, including veteran metal detectorists, that don't abide sometimes by the code of ethics. There's some people that I know have been hunting for a while. They do not carry a pouch to put their trash in and take it out with them. I take everything out with me, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do also in the fall, which is getting close here now, all my trash that I save it for the whole season. And then I put it on a tarp, and then I do a video on it. It's called the Tarp of Trash. When I put that out there, people know the hunting season is getting to an end.
Okay.
The reason I do this is there's a lot of places that close off metal detecting to metal detectorist because people have done them wrong, or they've dug holes and not filled them in, or left junk or things like that. That's where you find people that order machines online and they have no idea what they're doing with it, and will just start going out there with a big shovel, like I said earlier, and start digging holes. They have no clue on how to properly dig a hole, properly retrieve a target, and properly put that hole back together without showing that you've ever been there. And that's one of the things that I do a class on. And you have to go through the proper digging techniques class to get a card. We give them a card here at our shop. It's signed by me that they went through proper digging techniques, because otherwise they can be arrested for criminal damage if they do damage to the lawn. And that's what got metal detecting closed off to a lot of places. Marathon County, for instance. Marathon County closed off metal detecting on all county property over there. St. Croix County did the same. So when you close off county property, you close off state property, there's getting far and few places to hunt. You have to really start knocking on doors, like we said.
Yeah.
You know, like you brought up, that talk to people and see if you can go on their property and hunt. But if you go on and start digging holes and leave holes, those people will not ask you back.
Yeah.
I did have a question here that came in from Leslie, asking Kenny to describe some good projects when you're first starting in order to get the feel of the process.
what I recommend is to take and build yourself your own coin garden on your property. Like go out and buy jewelry at a garage sale. Go and get some silver coins, get some regular clad coins that are, the silver was 1964 and back. Everything that's clad is 1965 and to present. It's got copper in it. And the pennies, like the memorial pennies, some of them, they will just disintegrate. I've got so many coins that are half disintegrated in the ground already from the chemicals in the ground. The
Wow.
wheats and the Indian heads and things like that, those do not disintegrate. But yeah, you gotta. I tell people to dig and put this stuff in their yard. Find a place out there and bury this stuff at different lengths or different depths. Take can slop, for instance, square nails, buttons, metal buttons, silver coins, clad coins. There's so many things that a person finds out there. Take and bury them in your yard, and then learn what your metal detector is telling you.
Wow, that would be a great activity at the library if we got a metal detector. We can bury things and then have people try out the metal detector.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's super cool.
Yeah.
what I've got in at my shop here, I have a coin garden out along the side of my shop. And what I did is went to the hardware store and got the PVC pipe or the little cover or the caps or whatever. And I marked on the top of the cap and sunk it in the ground and identified what target was what next to the target. So when we go out there, I can tell people, here's a quarter, here's a $50, here's a square nail, things like that. And they can listen to the different tones on their machine to what it's telling them. If you get a broke up signal, I have in my training class, I've got, I make a square cardboard covered with contact paper, and I put 2 targets on each square cardboard, and I turn it over, and all there is just a flat surface, and people have to use their metal detector to go over the top of it, and they have to tell me what they think it is. And then I can flip the target over, and they'll see, it might be a Tootsie toy, or it might be a Canadian coin, or it might be a set of keys, or it might be a Ben Franklin $50, or things like that. And it gives them an opportunity to hear what their machine is telling them, listening for the tones. You want a good, clear, consistent tone on all ways. You crisscross that target. And if you don't have a consistent tone, then it's up to you whether you want to dig. But generally, I dig pretty much everything anyway.
So the library, I know I was looking online at InfoSoup, which is our consortium of libraries, and I noticed Shawano has a metal detector that was checked out, and it was, I think it was a Garrett detector. So if you were going to have a metal detector in a library for checkout, so it would need to be one that's not going to break easily.
Right.
What would you recommend?
Well, there's a number of them, like you've got on the list here. Bounty Hunter's got a good one out. Mine Lab's got them. They've all got them. White's is no longer in business. Quest detectors, I don't have them. Technetics, Fisher, and Bounty Hunter are all made by First Texas Products in El Paso, Texas. The Nocta, those are made in Turkey. The Mine Lab is made in Australia. And the Garrett's metal detectors are made in Garland, Texas. So There, you can buy a $400 or $500 unit for a checkout, you know, but they've got to sign the waiver. If they break it, they buy it.
Yeah.
You know, they pay you for a new metal detector.
Yeah.
But you don't want to get a real cheap one because it's not going to do you any good picking up everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Good idea. And when we're ready, we're going to have to give you a call. And I have Kenny's information up there if anyone else is interested in purchasing. He's groundviewmetaldetectors.biz. And you can go to his website and all of his information is there. And I have to tell you, they respond so quickly. So, and you've been talking about places to hunt, and I just here's from the title "Town Treasure Seekers" is the closest metal detecting club to us in Door County,
Right.
and this is one of their sites that they were metal detecting at. And
Nope. This one was the one I was at in Minnesota.
Oh, in Minnesota. Okay.
2 weeks ago. This is the Zumbro Valley Treasure Hunters, which
Ah,
I'm a member of. My daughter and husband, and they own 6 acres over there.
oh.
And they open their land up for us to hunt over there.
And looks like you found something.
Oh yeah, we found quite a few things. It's an old discussion for a treasure chest, but there was no treasure. They found some other things there, but there's Mid-States treasure hunters also in Nakusa, Wisconsin, and Titletown, and 3 Seasons. And I understand there's one trying to start up in Hayward area. I don't know the name of it. And there's also the 4 Seasons, the 4 Seasons in Madison. And then there's one down by Milwaukee. That's the clubs in Wisconsin.
Okay, and the one in Milwaukee, they do the lot of beaches, it looked like. And the website that's on this page lists like good places in Wisconsin to metal detect, like Bradford Beach in Milwaukee, and they had the different places that are that they thought would be good for metal detecting. I'll have to go back and look to make sure that they don't have any parks. Can you have county parks or?
There's some county parks that are open. Like I said, Marathon and St. Croix are 2 of them I know up here in this area that are closed off.
Okay.
That some parks are, over in Neillsville, Clark County, you have to have a permit. It doesn't cost you anything. You have to order it online and they send it to you, and it's good for a year. And there's places like that. There's no permits needed here in our area yet in Chippewa County. But different places do have permits.
Okay. And I think the best way to learn about metal detecting is to join a club. Because they're very proficient on their Facebook pages with telling about hunts, and now they meet and they have their meetings, but then they also have hunts where they go on hunts. It looks like they have a picnic. It looked like a lot of fun. So I just doing a search on Facebook found lots of different clubs on there. And you just mentioned some. It sounds like you just need to go on Facebook and search for metal detectors in your area, and I think you'll find something. Do you have anything to do with this Federation of Metal Detectors and Archaeological Clubs?
No, that one kind of fell by the wayside.
Okay.
That was started by Dick Stout. Dick is a very known author, very well-known author of a lot of treasure hunting books. I own some of his books, and he's also got his own website, and I chat with him once in a while. Dick was one of the founding members of the Federation and I haven't heard much what's going on. They kind of fell apart.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything more about it. Titletown Treasure Seekers, Greg in Green Bay. He's the president. And Paul Ehrenfirth, he is the treasurer over there. They have a hunt or two in Green Bay every year, I think. And Mid-States generally has a hunt. A lot of them closed off hunting this year because of this COVID thing. But I set up our hunt for the Zumbro Valley Treasure Hunters, which is located in Rochester, Minnesota. And I figured we're far enough apart that it should not be a problem.
Yeah.
Everybody, when they were close together, they wore their masks. And I had everybody bring different things like beans and hot dogs and brats and salads and things like that. And we had just a good time of camaraderie. And, you know, if we didn't find anything, we didn't find anything. But it was nice to be out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great great sport for this and hobby for this season of COVID. And you have been great. I have, I think, exhausted all of my questions. Do we have any questions from people out there? I'm going to stop my share if I can get my mouse to work.
Let me take a look. I do have a question while I'm looking. So what's the coolest thing that you found? That you?
Well, would you believe a key?
Yeah?
A locksmith finding a key.
Yeah.
I found that in 2009 in front of my house when they tore up the road in front of my house. I found that a foot down, and it's a large, it's the tube of it is as big as my thumb.
Wow.
And I couldn't find any information around here about it. So I sent it to a locksmith friend in Milwaukee who's a master locksmith. And he did some digging on it, and the key dates back to the 1700s.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. Some of the other finds, my wife's got several rings that are a lot of money that I found over the years. I display a lot of things here in my shop of all my finds. I've got my very first coin, a 1922 or 23 piece dollar. That was my very first coin that I found when I started hunting 52 years ago.
Wow.
And I still have my original machine that I started with 52 years ago.
Wow.
And does it work?
Yeah, hang on, I'll grab it here.
I wonder
It's like it's the perfect hobby for somebody who's like always needs to be like multitasking. You know what I mean? Like you can't just go for a hike. You got to be searching while you're hiking. You know.
Alfie. Sorry. Alfie, come back. Yes.
Oh wow! When did you say that one? That one's from Kenny.
52 years ago, when I was 12 years old.
Wow! How heavy is it?
Well, after you put the 16 batteries in it, it gets pretty heavy. From this to this.
Yeah, no kidding. The coin
They've
master.
really come a long way.
Wow, that's really
And
neat.
this is 2.5 pounds. This whole machine.
Wow.
This, and my Fisher is about 3 pounds.
No kidding.
And this,
I can handle that.
about 15 pounds. But it still works today. And I don't take it out. It's an antique. And I have it hanging in my shop here to show people.
Cool.
Very neat.
Steve, did you have a question? I see that you already have a metal detector there.
Yes.
No, I've got it in a grass shield or something. It's a Discovery 3300. That's made by one of the companies you mentioned.
Okay. Bounty Hunter?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. The 3300. That's the new one. I got a littler older one, and I've had the kid one. And
The
simpler
33.
ones work okay.
Oh yeah, the 3300. People have found some nice coins with it. That's a pretty decent machine. That's a good starter unit.
Yeah, I found it makes noise.
Oh yeah, they all do.
But it's pretty simple compared. I don't know a lot about this. I think I had a white a long time ago.
Yep.
Like I used to go to Florida and coin shoot, but
Yep.
it was the second one of his. But whatever. It's more your antique one. I probably about the same age.
Here is my White's V3i. Well, this is the V3i. It's got a holder on the other side. It's all color screened. It's got my name in it. It's got my name in it. And it's got different blocks that show different things in it.
Oh, wow.
And you just pick out, and set it all up. It's a lot of information in this machine. And it got to be too heavy, so that's why I put a belt holder on it to where I can put it on my belt, and all I have to do is swing the coil part of it.
So I guess here's a question. Being that you're a locksmith as well, have you ever showed up at a house and ready to open their door for them, but then end up finding their key with the metal detector? Any cross?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay.
I've gotten calls for people that lost items.
Okay, very cool.
And I've located like rings and things. In fact, I just had one here the other day. A gentleman had a trailer full of grass clippings and leaf clippings, cleaning out everything. And when he went to throw, guess what come off his hand into the pile of.
No. Oh,
so,
no.
Guess what went to work?
Perfect.
I was able to find that. I've got a picture on Groundview Metal Detector on Facebook page. Then I got a call the next day to go up to Rice Lake to look for a ring. They have one of these corn things where they pile hay around and then fill it full of corn for the kids to play in.
Yeah.
The mother lost her wedding ring and I couldn't find that. But yeah, I've gotten permission to hunt like the ring I found south of Cadat. The lady and her husband owned 80 acres. She said, you have the roam of the land. She said, you can hunt anytime you want.
Wow.
I had found her ring and I didn't charge her anything. She gave me permission to come back anytime and hunt her property.
Nice.
So it just keeps giving me places to hunt, which is nice,
Very cool.
Well, thank you, Kenny, for joining us today and telling us about metal detecting. And we'll be in touch with you again. You were
If anybody has any questions at all, or and if they've got a machine and have a question on it, don't be afraid to call. I carry my cell phone 24/7, and if you're out and about, I've got that. I can answer questions out in the field when I'm out hunting myself.
And I can verify he does that. He called me from Missouri. So,
Yep. And if someone has a broken part, like we're closed Friday, Saturday, and Sunday here, but if you had a broken part, just give me a call and I can meet you at the shop. And if I have the part in stock, we'll sell it to you and get you going again. So there's no downtime. So we try and get the people out there and enjoying the hobby.
great.
And a comment from Leslie, who's watching. This is a very interesting program. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
And it'll be a YouTube video too. We'll have that up and we'll share all that with you too. So you'll have it for your website also. So
Sounds good.
thank you so much. And thanks everyone for joining us from the Egg Harbor Library. It's Janine and Jess, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.